Tonight, shocking insights and theories in the case that gripped the nation, the Idaho college murders, brought to light by a team that includes a man well suited for such work, best-selling crime and thriller writer James Patterson. Here's ABC's Kenna Woodworth.
Nearly 2 weeks after the shocking plea deal that avoided sending Bryan Kohberger to trial, stunning new details from those closest to Madison Mogen, Kaylee Gonzalez, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin about what they believe was the motive behind Kohberger's brutal murders of the 4 University of Idaho students.
For people who have followed this story, we wanted to give them closure.
James Patterson has authored more than 100 New York Times best-selling novels, some even turned into movies like Kiss the Girls and Along Came a Spider. Morgan Freeman playing Patterson's signature character, Alex Cross.
I happen to like spiders.
And now he's working with investigative reporter Vicky Ward on a new nonfiction book, The Idaho 4, An American Tragedy. The duo conducting over 300 interviews with people that have ties to the case, including family and friends who believe Maddie was the target.
When you share this thought of how and where did he find these girls, was there a bit of a consensus among the friends?
There was consensus that it was Maddie that Kohberger was going for, and the victims' families, I think, would all agree with that. You know, everything points to that.
Moscow police allege the culprit's cell phone records show his phone appears to have been close to the King Road house on at least 12 occasions between August and the night of the murders in November, almost always late at night. It all began the night of November 12, 2022. Kaylee and Maddie, newly 21 and lifelong best friends, went to a popular campus bar around 10 p.m. They're later seen at the grub truck, laughing, ordering food. Authorities say Xana and Ethan, both 20, were at a fraternity party earlier that same night, arriving home around 1:45 a.m. It would be the last hours of their lives. According to court documents, between 4:22 a.m. and 4:24 a.m., one surviving roommate, Dylan, texts the other to say she saw a man clad in black. I'm freaking out right now. No, it's like a ski mask almost. The other surviving roommate texting back, run, down here.
Tell me a little bit about how the description of what Dylan experienced came to life in the book.
It sounded so surreal to them all, because she said he had a black mask and he looked like he was carrying a black vacuum. And they're sitting there thinking, who could this be? And, you know, what on earth has happened?
Hours later, one of the surviving roommates calling 911.
911 location of your emergency. Something is happening.
Prosecutors allege Kohberger purchased a K-bar knife like this one from Amazon, along with a sharpener and a sheath, and used that to kill the students. The murder weapon was never found, and prosecutors believe Maddie was the first person Kohberger killed. The knife sheath with his DNA found under her body.
He almost committed the perfect crime. Had he not left the knife sheath, he probably wouldn't have got caught.
After nearly 7 weeks, a major break, Kohberger was arrested at his parents' home in Pennsylvania. The book offers some new details and theories about Kohberger's connection to the roommates, like their friend Emily Allant, who told Patterson and Ward about a recurring nightmare after the murders, saying she imagined that Kohberger went to the restaurant where Maddie worked, expressed romantic interest in her, and was rejected. He then retaliated.
Tell me a little bit about how she explained that dream to you and how you put it into writing.
When they are told that the guy who murdered their friends is this guy, Bryan Kohberger, they don't recognize his photo.
Right, total stranger.
They can't put it together. That's when Emily said the only explanation that she and Hunter could come up with is the story that, you know, we tell as the story of her dream, that Bryan Kohberger targeted Maddie.
Last month, I spoke to Emily Allant and her boyfriend, Hunter Johnson. Hunter recalled hearing Kohberger's name for the first time when he was named a suspect.
When the name came out, did you all start talking to each other and try to figure out how in the world this person came into everyone's lives?
I mean, my first thought was, who is that? Never saw the person ever in my life.
Hunter was the first person to arrive at 1122 King Road after one of the surviving roommates called Emily.
Emily got a call from Dylan at around 11-ish, and then that's when I felt like I needed to go over.
And then what happened next?
I went into the house, and I think that's all I really am gonna say.
He was also the one who called 911 that day and made sure Emily and her friends didn't see the grisly scene inside the house.
Is she breathing?
No.
How did you remain so calm in that moment?
It was truly in my heart, I believe God was with me that day, and he gave me the strength to get through that day and to protect the girls in their hearts.
And you mentioned that you felt like he saved you a lot of trauma.
Yeah, I am a completely different person now, but I would also be a completely different person if it weren't for him as well. I couldn't be more grateful.
That day still seared into their memories, waiting to find out the fate of their friends inside that Moscow, Idaho home.
We watched the ambulance come and we watched them immediately leave. So I think that was a hard part for sure.
That second you realize there's no one to be saved.
Right.
You don't ever know when you're really gonna grow up. Like when's I'm gonna be an adult, you know? I think that was the day where my childhood was left behind and adulthood had to enter.
And after the tragedy, Hunter and Emily left Moscow, never returned, and say they're still plagued with fear.
Are you guys finally feeling safe again, or do you still worry?
I struggle. I struggle still, you know. If he's not home, I don't shower, you know. I don't like to blow dry my hair.
I think now it's like my time to be with her. You know, now it's my time to be there for her.
Yeah.
When I wasn't there for her originally, so.
Yeah. You grow up not having any fears of it. I mean, I was fearless when I was a kid, and yeah, now I fear everything, so.
Now that Kohberger pleaded guilty to all 4 murders, the authors think this book is more important than ever.
I think a lot of people think they know what this story is, but you read the pages of the Idaho 4 because it turns out that actually you don't. And that's the surprise. You're not going to have Kohberger standing in court telling us what happened.
Kohberger is now awaiting sentencing.
Are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes.
The deal enraging some of the victims' parents.
Mr. Gonsalves, how are you feeling right now?
I'm pretty let down.
You're let down, you said? You said earlier that you made a deal, they made a deal with the devil. You still feel that way?
Yeah, Bryan's the devil.
By admitting guilt, Kohberger was spared the death penalty and waived his right to appeal in exchange for 4 consecutive life sentences.
That was terrible. We let her down. I let my daughter down with trusting in this.
As bad as you could possibly imagine.
But Maddie Mogan's family saying they have closure.
We support the plea agreement 100%.
I understand the mixed reactions from the families. And, you know, I have a lot of empathy for the Gonsalves family, because when you put yourself in their shoes, they've really been kept in the dark and they wanted answers. And now they won't get that satisfaction.
Patterson and Ward are hoping to give readers a true sense of who these 4 students were and all of their promise.
You will meet them and you will feel them as human beings.
I spoke to Stacy Chapin, Ethan's mom, and she did say, which was wonderful to hear, that she's so glad that this book exists because it means that they're not forgotten. It is a tribute to them and their lives.
Our thanks to Kana. The Idaho 4, an American tragedy, is available wherever books are sold.